High up on the hills of Acropolis, there is a temple dedicated to the goddess Simenon. It is said that she still haunts these very hills. In fact, further on in the video we captured her on camera, attempting to repossess her own statue. This is a project that's been in my head for about 30 years. I've always had a passion for the Parthenon in the Acropolis. I never actually put this design on paper, so here it is for the first time. Hey, it's Joe and I'm back with the tour of the Simenon. It's based on a 40 by 30 lot and I built it in Windenburg over the Van Hort estate in Chalet Gardens. The reason why I built this domestic property in a commercial lot was by accident. I thought I could convert it at a later point, but secondly also because of the picturesque setting. This sort of classical design is just perfect in this environment. I tried to keep as close to the Parthenon as possible, but because one grid on the Parthenon is far larger than one tile in The Sims, the house inside was just not usable, so I cheated a little bit. It's very symmetrical and everything's laid out in a fairly strict grid, but I've allowed some of the greenery to take over and create a slightly more organic feel. The sides of the Parthenon, or the Simenon, are made from roofs, and they use the textures that I created recently, which you can actually download on my Patreon account. I thought a couple of statues on the roof would be quite fitting. The interior has a lot of windows, and I figured, well, since it's completely shrouded in columns, it's fairly private. However, you can always close the shutters if you are a private sim. And there's the statue of Simenon. Watch later as the ghost actually tries to possess the statue. This is the rear entry, which leads through to the bedroom. There's not much privacy in terms of a commercial lot because everybody just walks right through. What's gardens without your typical statues? These are quite groomed, these gardens, and not much is allowed to grow wild. I decided to add a few rocks into the little hillsides simply to blend it in a bit. It also gives that sort of ruined look to the house, which is quite not in ruins itself, as you can see. And there's the Simenon quite actively playing the piano. She's quite energetic and entertains everybody who will listen to her. The living area is fairly simple. It has a lounge area, piano area, as you can see, and a very small open plan kitchen, purely because there isn't space for anything more. I had to create a central column where the fridge is because I simply couldn't place everything, and this just worked out the best. The bedroom is also very, very simple. There just simply isn't place to put much, so there's a built-in wardrobe in one of the corners, a simple trunk, and muted colors. The bathroom equally is quite monochromatic and modern. I thought it's a nice contrast from the inside to the outside, the absolute classicism of the outside. When you zoom out, you can see how magnificent Windenburg really is. And this is the basement area. I decided on a whim to create this sort of hidden staircase that the Sims could sort of find their way to the hidden areas. There's a lot of entertainment down here, which is of course not available in the house upstairs. But what hides here is actually a maze. I thought, what fun would it be to have a maze and then to hide it away? And you can do so because The Sims has included a secret door that looks like a bookcase, and this is the entrance. Kept the maze fairly simple because there's not a lot of space, and the more turns you make, the harder it is for the Sims to navigate. Through those windows you actually see the swimming pool. Then I sort of positioned a few odd items that Sims could come down and have a look at. You could probably pick up the lot and decorate it much more elaborately, but I thought this sort of dungeon secret area with very little in it just made the design It's not quite in keeping with the Parthenon, but there you go. Ready for a swim? Here we go. I like the idea that you can actually put windows into swimming pools and you can actually look through. It really comes alive at night with all the lighting. Sunset is quite dramatic. The visitors to the property seem to have quite fun swimming, although there's not a lot for them to do. They endlessly swim, and they particularly like the right-hand pool for some reason. And this is where the ghost of Simenon tries to possess her statue. She's quite determined. She gets in there and she really tries to take over. I have a further clip of her attempting this again. The basement area is really just almost haphazard. I just added things in and I thought, well, we only have one room upstairs, so let me add another one in. And at least it's not a one-roomed property. And this is the maze that you walked through earlier. It's really relatively small, and on each end the windows look out into the swimming pools. Those shallow areas are the fountains up above in the front. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Simenon. And here's the ghost trying to possess her own statue. She's really quite determined. While he's busy with the statue, her buddy over there, he decides to, well, he's going to possess a rose bush. So off he goes. They get quite animated, so to speak. And they really have a good go at it. She's clearly done trying to possess her statue for the day, but he's having none of it. He's not finished with that rose bush, so he goes in for a second attempt. Perhaps this has got to do with the rosebud cheat in The Sims. Anyway, there off he goes. Probably possess another rose bush somewhere in the garden. Here's some screenshots of the house. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now and turn on notifications. That way, when I release new content, you'll be the first to hear about it. If you love this video, do give it a thumbs up. It helps me to grow my channel. If you want to download this property, check the links below and go to my Patreon account. This property will be a free download except for the custom content that I created for the Hobbit house, but the house will load perfectly with no issues. You simply just choose a green terrain paint for the edges and a different roof texture for the two roofs that will pop up on the other side of the Simenon. Thank you so much for watching.